Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Comics Discourse 114. I'm one of your hosts, Brian Newberry.
I'm Brian Clark.
And I'm Hassan.
And it's that time of the month again. We're back on our monthly spotlight with Witch Hat Atelier, and you know what that means. We got somebody else with us. What's up, Frank?
It is Brimmed Cap Frank. Thanks for having me.
Well, you are always welcome. You know that. Tonight we are going to finish up our Witch Hat Atelier monthly spotlight. I know we're going to hit through volume 5. There's another 9 to go, but we are not covering them all. And I don't know if you guys know this. This is where the anime is actually stopping season 1 as well. I think I've got 2. I think the last episode comes out next week, and I'm 1 behind. So I've actually like half of the storyline recovers I have seen in the show, and it is cool. My husband actually asked me, he's like, does this follow the manga pretty close? I was like, exceedingly close.
Oh, that's really good.
It adds
Yeah.
some stuff to it, but not a lot.
Anime is pretty good at that.
Yeah,
Is Vixen in it too?
she is. She appeared in this last episode. The one of the characters looks exactly like early versions of DC's Vixen. As soon as Hassan said something about it, I knew who he was talking about.
I was like,
for the comment.
what are you talking about? This is
Oh.
DC All Stars.
It's the absolute witch hat.
Well, y'all, I've read all except for the volume 14, and I do have to say these are probably, if not my 2 favorite, close to my 2 favorite volumes of the series. I don't know how you guys feel.
I've not considered a ranking. Uh,
I'm usually
I
not that person. I just think these are
yeah,
exceptional
they
high point of the series.
they are because it does hit like a little bit of a story arc
Lull.
that goes on too long. And then
Yes,
it gets wild.
I kept waiting for, is it Silver Light or Silver Night,
Mhm.
whatever, to end. It just kept going on and on. It's not a bad story, but to Brian's point, it does drag. Um, which is funny because there's so much shit packed into these 2 volumes that we're about to cover.
I thought
All
these
right.
were out of the 5 I read, because I only read 5. These are 2 of the best ones. This gets better and better because they're much darker. These 2 volumes than what we previously discussed.
Mhm.
Um, my pet
Austin, how do you feel
peeve.
about the covers of these
Yeah, I was going to
volumes?
say, like, I feel like the covers with the characters kind of, it doesn't tell you what's happening inside, right? It's just like, oh, these cute little girls, um, and I wish I wish the covers represent more what's going on inside the story, inside the book, because I think I probably would have read this sooner if I knew, if I had a hint of what was going to come in volumes 4 and 5. So
Well,
yeah.
this picks up after Agott was told she can take the next test, which will allow her to do magic outside the atelier. Um, but the whole point is you have to be able to do magic where nobody can see you. So she has to be skilled enough to do that, and that's part of the test. And Coco is not taking this test, by the way. She's just taking the first one. And you can only take this test 1 time a year, and we're coming up on it. And Qifrey tricks Richeh into taking it as well. So these 2 volumes, we get a lot of her backstory because to this point, she's really just been in the background. She's kind of mopey. I think the anime, you get her personality a lot better than you do in the manga. I don't know, Brian and Frank, how you feel about that. I think you've both been watching it.
I'm a little behind. Um,
Frank, you're on
yeah,
mute.
let's cast this.
What a rookie move. I was just saying, in the manga, she's like the Eeyore of the group. At least
Yeah.
on the page, that's how she comes across up until like volume 4. Definitely in the anime, she's more animated, but to
Yeah.
put a pun on it. But
Well, we're not, we're gonna kind of just wander as we tell this story because I kind of want to dive into some of her backstory first, and it's interspaced through this whole thing, but each of the girls has their own personality that Brian's kind of alluded to that are kind of archetypes of anime characters and manga characters.
It's all
She
based on the
is a
Ninja Turtles.
yes. She's not the Michelangelo of the group. Um, she's just kind of dour, but we find out that her whole thing is she only wants to do her spells. She doesn't want to learn anybody else's spells. She wants to create her own magic, and she could care less about the fundamentals. Learning magic is boring to her, whereas Coco is super excited and wants to learn everything. Richey's like, leave me alone. I just want to make my own spells. Kind of find out she's a little bit of a, they don't spell it out here, but I feel like she's a little bit of a magical genius because she's created her own little portal that takes her to her own little cave that's hidden in the house. She creates all these cool little spells that can manipulate crystal and stone and fabric that we haven't seen anybody else do, but she's lacking the fundamentals. And the reason she also doesn't want to learn other stuff is because she doesn't want to change. She seems to be very connected to her brother. Um, and he kind of told her don't change when he went off to learn magic, and I think she's taken that to heart. And she came from another atelier that the master was not good, especially for her. I can't tell if he was abusive, but there was some weird shit going on with her older brother that I don't feel like they really spelled out there too.
I,
that was
I
weird.
agree.
Yeah.
I agree. At least I felt like he was mentally abusive. At least.
Yeah. And each apprentice can choose where they go to learn. So if they don't like it, they can leave. And Qifrey and Origo came upon her one time and she decided to go with them to learn. And Kiefer's kind of been letting her do her own thing, but he sort of tricks her into taking this test.
Was she gets so pissed off, man?
Oh yeah, which is kind of funny because most of the time she's very flat, especially in the anime. It's just her voice is very quiet and all that, which kind of goes to her personality because all her spells are super small. They're really intricate, but they're super small, so they don't affect big area. But she's learning how to string them all together and make them more powerful. Um, but Agott is all in on taking this test, and she's super excited. But throughout this, we also learn that Coco, um, we're trying to find what her magical talent is, and spells with straight lines seem to be her thing, which goes all the way back to the first chapter where Qifrey sees her and she's cutting the fabric for him, and she's got that giant stone and she's marking it straight down for a couple feet. And she gets super excited when she realizes she has a talent. But
Yes.
Qifrey's kind of been like, hey, you still need to learn the other stuff. You can't just go focus on all the spells with straight lines.
Yeah, you can. It's fine. You'll be fine.
I mean, um, well, the second test is pretty freaking cool to me, and it was not at all what I thought it would be. Um, we meet the proctor of the test, who I think we have seen before very briefly. I cannot remember her name off the top of my head, but it's a
Fixer.
lady that
Alara. Yeah,
Ah.
fixed.
Qifrey met her at the tower where all the witches live once. So we've seen her there. If y'all come across her name, please tell me because I get them all
Alara.
mixed up.
Alara. Yeah.
There we go. And there is another apprentice there that is taking the test for the third time because
Oh
he's
my
failed it
god.
twice.
Oh my god. I
Okay.
felt so bad for him.
Tell me how you're going to pronounce this kid's name. I need to hear it.
Okay, hold on. I have to look at it while I say it. I want to say, and it's so shitty because I just watched this episode where he appeared and
I'm
I
not
was
there
trying
yet,
to
so I got to
remember
hear
how
it.
to say his name and I cannot remember. I think it's Inui or something like that.
That's better than what I got.
Um, his master one
Is an
looks
ass.
creepy as fuck.
Yes.
Uh, but he's a complete asshole. He's
You're gonna
so bad. He's like,
fail.
I don't give a fuck if this kid lives or dies. Yeah, take him, and I'm gonna go back
Yeah, he's
home.
gonna fail. He's gonna fail anyway. So why do I stay?
Yeah, he's going day drinking while they do the test.
Oh,
I
and
felt like is he like he was crying so much. I thought he was wetting his face. You know what I'm saying? It's like I mean, my God, those tears.
oh, but the kid has no self-confidence because he's failed so many times. His master's a dick. So if he's failed twice, this is like his third year trying to take this effing test.
Yeah, I mean he
Um,
definitely looks older than the other
to the
kids.
girls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like 15.
Yeah.
Well, this test has a lot of lore related to it. So if you remember the Dada range was those floating islands in the sky, well, all five tests take place at an area where magic has corrupted the environment. And I love the backstory of this. It's a serpentine path that the students have to follow, but they're disguised as these little penguin looking things, and they're helping them get through it to get to the other side for their mating ritual that happens every year. Now, they say we owe it to nature to do this because we're the ones that fucked it up. That's why it's part of the test. But you also cannot be seen by them because if you do, they're going to panic and run away and they won't make it to the other side. So that goes into the point where they have to be able to do magic without being seen. And a god, of course, like thinking, oh, I just got to do it under my robe. That's not it. They're given this magic robe that makes it look like they're one of these creatures, and they have to sound like them to lead them through it and all of that, and avoid all the traps that are in this place. Um, but gravity and the whole environment is topsy turvy in here, and we find out it's because this ancient civilization of magicians that were obsessed with treasure and gold and purity corrupted the whole area over several centuries, and it fucked it all up. But they would turn people into gold like that they didn't agree with. Ugly people, people that were
Yes.
old, people that were lame. They would only let people come in that were high society to their land. Is really kind of effed up what the place turned into. Um, and you think, oh, that's just lore about it. We actually see what happened to that civilization throughout the course of this. I don't think they're supposed to, but they end up doing it. Um, what do y'all think about that backstory that they built in here, just for a little side couple chapters?
Well, I thought it kind of gave a little more context of why in the current or the present why there's more rules around magic because that's what they don't want the same things to happen again, and that's why they have all these rules around magic. You can't be seen doing magic, and certain things you can do with magic, certain things you cannot do. So I think I really like that backdrop as it
And
gets a
you're
little
like,
more.
why can't you use magic to fix it all? And that's like the big dilemma.
Yes.
Yeah. And we see both sides of that in this because we see what happens, well, in multiple instances. I'm just going to spoil what happened to the people there. The people that were turned to gold are still alive centuries later down there and in pain, and they can't die. Um, so that's, you know, part of why they can't do magic on people, but they kind of go too far, and that's part of what the Brim Caps ideal is because you can't even heal somebody that's sick, like the kid that got his legs Custis, who we see later, who got his legs crushed in that landslide in the flood. You can't even do a spell to heal him because some people went too far and turned people into gold and transfigured people into animals and stuff. So there is an argument to say like, hey, yeah, it's a slippery slope, but there are clear divides on what can be good and what can be bad on some of it. And we do get some confrontation with the brim hats just kind of around that ethical dilemma, although they're not quite clear about it. And I think they are clearly on the other side, going way too far.
Hmm.
Um, but Qifrey does trick Richeh into going in there. They hand her one of the penguin things to take, and she's like, "I'm not doing this test." And he's like, "Yeah, you are."
You signed up.
Um, and Qifrey just begs her to do it, and she ends up caving, but she's like, "I'll do it, but I'm doing it my way. I'm not doing it with your spells. I'm doing it with my spells. And if I don't make it, I really don't care." So I got Euini or whatever his name is, and Richeh start going in, and they have Vixen as their proctor, and she's not allowed to help. But the design of this test is so cool. They have to walk through this giant snake reptile skull that's got a portal looking arch in it, and they start walking down this path that looks like spider or snake scales, but it's crumbling all around, and it twists and turns up the walls, up the ceiling, kind of in an infinity pattern at points. And gravity is just totally screwed up. Like they can't just put their shoes together and fly through with their penguin. It will not work. And if they fall off, they're sent back to the beginning, and I think they fail at that point too. So they got to use the spells that they know to get through here, and that's kind of what pisses Richey off because she's like, I don't want to use the spells from the primer. I'm going to try to use my own spells. And Agott's like, I know these spells. We're getting through it. And the little kid that's failed, he knows all the tricks. He just isn't good at getting through them. So he's kind of cheated and drawn them all forehand and is just going to close them as he gets in. But it's not really cheating because they walk through with all that their little spell books all the time throughout life.
But he made a mistake.
Yeah, the path crumbles at one point, and he doesn't know what to do there, and he has absolutely no confidence in himself.
No, no,
Oh, that
no.
kid.
I think that's an understatement. He has negative confidence. Like he is so down
He's
on
beat
himself.
down.
Yes,
Um,
He has a great mentor to really help him out there. Super proud
yeah.
of him.
Now,
he should go
Hassan,
on TED Talk.
Yeah.
I remember the first one we read. You're like, Agott's an asshole. How are
Yes,
you feeling about her 4 or 5 volumes in?
I still think she's an asshole, even though she makes a decision that I was kind of surprised about uh, during the test. We get to it when we get to it. I was surprised that she decided to do something.
It's a
I,
moment of growth.
Yes.
I think we have slowly been seeing her grow, and I think these 2 volumes we see a lot um, because she's actually learning from Coco in her own way. She's saying that, hey, I can help build this kid up. He doesn't have to be this way. He is skilled in his own way. So she tries to encourage him, and so does Richeh. But oh, the kid takes a lot.
Hmm.
But they do manage to help him overcome stuff. But unfortunately, Orko from the end of the last volume of the Brim Caps is on their trail.
I was gonna say
Oh,
like
Orca.
Agott's like an asshole, like Spock is an asshole. Like she's so rigid in her ideals, and as such like a rigid worldview of how she's going to get from point A to point B. That like you have to teach her how to be human at
Hmm.
points of these in these volumes, and that's kind of like where Richey comes in to like hey, you have to actually help this poor kid. Like stop being such a dick trying to get from point A to point B. Let's help him. And that part of like Agott's character development is it's fun to see because I hate to see her just to be like the foil, like just the asshole of the story the whole time. Like there's got to be some heart to her.
Oh, and I also kind of compare her to just, I'm going to use a personal example, like kids that have never left my hometown. Like that culture that they were raised in, very small town,
Yeah.
church, religious, that's all they
Close-minded.
know. And Agott is in that same way with people that were not raised in magic. She doesn't think Coco should be involved. She shouldn't know any of this. She shouldn't be able to even do this because she wasn't raised in it. And what does it mean if somebody like her can come in and not only do magic, but do it well and bring different things and different perspectives? And she's opening her eyes a little
Yeah,
bit as
threatens
this
her whole
goes.
worldview.
Yeah. But she's not, she's open to it in her own way and is getting better about it. Um, I do think some of the spells Richeh uses are cool. Like the path is broken off at one point, and she does a spell that just manipulates the stone, and she can shape it to fly herself over the ledge. She stretches it like her little crystal ribbons she had made. Um, Agott does a spell that lets her walk that creates the path behind her and lets her keep going on the path. The kid's got to figure out how to get over there, and he just freaks out and can't quite do it because he's like, I didn't draw a spell for this, and nobody can watch me do a spell, so I got to hide. So they talk him through all of that. Um, but at this point, Orko comes and starts causing problems for him. He takes the proctor, Lady Vixen, throws her over the edge, and the kids are left alone. And the whole reason that this dude is after them is because he's wanting to make Coco do something. And we kind of start figuring out a little more about the Brim Cap motivation. Because for the whole time we've like, what do they really want from her? Why they just want this random ass kid to do magic? What's she gonna do for them? And the whole point I think is that she's an outsider with a different perspective, and they're wanting her to start doing forbidden magic to kind of prove that it can do good in the world is sort of how I picked up on it, but I'm not sure if
I,
y'all got a different opinion.
no, I agree with you. They want her to obviously break the rule, but break it in a way that's a positive way to demonstrate that the rules that the current structure, the current laws around magic doesn't make sense. But you think that's a good thing. But for her, how they wanted her to break it, they wanted to put her friends or innocent people in danger for her to break it.
And they go so far over the line to make her try to break it, like the things that they do to people and the harm that they cause. So it's kind of like they're wanting this girl to move the line, but they're so far over it that they're proving that people shouldn't be doing what they're
Exactly.
wanting them to do. It's
Exactly.
very
Because
odd.
it's not like if they didn't do what they did, Coco wouldn't need to break the rules.
Yeah.
I'm also
Well,
wondering why Coco still. I mean, we're still solving that
yes,
mystery, but this goes all the way back to her early childhood when she was given the book. She's
book.
been groomed for this for a longer time than, just the time that her mom got frozen in the crystals. So they keep calling her the child of hope, and it's like this matrixy type thing, like you're the one. So I'm sure we'll get there down the road, but what is it actually about Coco? Does she have some like, latent power as her father, or somebody that we don't really know much about yet?
Her
Somebody where
father's name's Anakin.
Her her dad's name is Tom Riddle.
that's right. That's where we're headed.
Well,
If
and
you rearrange all the letters in Coco, it spells Voldemort.
Spells Tom Riddle.
when
It also spells Coco.
I kind of wonder if they gave a bunch of kids the books and hers is the only one that bore fruit. Like they're watching several kids with these random spell books they gave out, but we really have absolutely no idea. Um,
Wait, wait,
the
wait,
kids,
wait. You guys on volume 13 or 14, right? And you
yeah.
still don't know why?
Welcome to manga.
Hmm.
Yeah.
We
There's
got
something.
like
That's
30
like
more volumes to
that
go.
sounds like a Cliff Claremont type plotting.
Oh yeah.
It's the long game.
Well, part of me is like, why did they start this show when we're only on volume 14? And I feel like we got a lot of stories still to go because they're going to get to the point where they're going to run out of manga and they don't need to start creating their own
That
to
happens
me.
all the
Yeah,
time.
don't
Man,
I
Game
know.
of Thrones this shit. I'll be
I
mad.
know, I was going
Yeah.
to say that.
Like, because
I
we're down
mean,
to like one volume a year at this point.
yeah, I like Berserk. So at 43 volumes. I mean,
Yeah.
like that's it's just a the thing about manga is it's a slow, methodical world build, like tons of character development. And tons of flashbacks to really drill in the memory.
Well, I'm
I'm
just
Uh,
waiting for the
sure
Witch Hat
about.
Atelier tournament at some point too.
yeah. Oh, yeah. That always has to happen. They have to fight each other at some point. Um, and then, I mean, the difference between this and Claremont, like, is they don't have to like explain what's happening in the scene to me.
I was
And
going
they
to
might have
say,
plotted this out already. Claremont was
yeah.
flying by the seat of his pants.
On the
Yeah.
flashback, I'm a Batman reader, so I'm used to flashbacks.
Yeah. He inspired it. Yeah, if you read a Batman, like I think every issue of Batman, I always question, like, I wonder what really caused him to be like this.
I should see it one more time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there a necklace involved? I don't
Well, we talked about the Orko Brimmed Cap last time, but I still do love this design. This
Yeah.
pointed,
He's the
weird
best one so
hat with an
far.
eyeball in it and just a floating cape right below it. It is so cool and
Mhm.
creepy as hell because it talks from the eyeball area. Um, but you think this witch is so far gone, it don't even have a body anymore. How is it doing magic? Like what the hell is going on? Um, well, Agott and Richeh and Euini or whatever his name is are just trying desperately to get their little penguins through this cave. They're doing pretty good, even though they're being attacked, until the Brim Cap comes up and assaults um, Agott and the little
That's the
other guy.
coolest page. That is such a cool page where he's just because I think like we've talked about this before. Like my whole opinion of this manga is like it's so delightful. It's lighthearted. It's cute. And then we get this volume four, and you get to that panel where this I think this dude's name is Cicerin, the Orco dude, where he comes up behind just out of nowhere. Like you don't even know he's coming. He just pops up behind Alert out of nowhere. It's the scariest ass page in the whole manga, and I loved it. And this whole volume goes that direction for the rest of the volume. It's great. It's like she just really amped up the intensity and he's creepy and nasty, so he's fun.
Page where he's wrapped around her and kind of
Yes.
choking her is so creepy.
Yes,
Um, and when I say assault, he is really assaulting them physically. Even though he has no body, he's starting to tattoo them with a spell. And that is a giant no-no in forbidden magic. And it doesn't matter if she cast it or not, it would screw her life up completely. Because the witches would erase her memory and all that if they could even fix what this thing was is trying to do to her. He actually starts tattooing a whole line on her, but she's saved at the last second and by Richeh using one of her spells. But eventually he does get a hold of the guy that's with him on the test. He sets a trap for the dude and ends up getting caught. And then we see on a page very dark later, the kid is starting to be transformed into some creature. We see him crawling out of the darkness. He's still got his head, but he's growing freaky ears and scales and
Yeah.
paws.
Uh-huh.
It he looks like a demon.
Yes.
But the brim cap cast a curse on him, turning him into this giant dark wolf creature. Um, like completely just changed the kid. Like his mind's gone and now he's an animal. And that's the type of magic that the brim caps do. And it's really fucked up. Like,
crazy
and we
thing is he
find
didn't
out,
even really know what was going to happen. He just threw this spell on him and was like, "Oh, this is crazy. It does something different every time I cast it." The poor kid.
the dice roll skill.
Yeah, for sure.
and Richeh and Agott are, you know, freaked the hell out. Um, at the same time, Qifrey has figured out something's happening in there, and he and Tita and Coco go in to try to go after him. and they get trapped. And that's where they end up at the bottom of this whole cave system and meet the people that were turned to gold. And we get that whole storyline. Um, those gold witches are trying to actually gonna kill them, and the proctor, because that's where she ended up. That cave scene where you see the city that they're down in, and these gold creatures, like you just think, oh, they turn people to gold. Nah, this is like they have tentacles and shit attached to them. They don't look like a human anymore. Um, but it's 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 kind of messed up. Like these people, they do not like magic. They don't like witches because even though they probably were witches in their lives, that's the reason that they're turned into what they are. Um, so that battle's happening, and Qifrey's trying to help, but he's totally like completely injured, really, really bad. Can hardly cast a spell. Um, Richeh, not Richeh, Tita and Coco end up trying to hold these people off and have to solve some riddle to to get them to leave them alone. It turns out Coco has this warming stone she was given, and these gold people take it and put it in this amplifier. And Coco just thinks she's trying to help them, but I feel bad for her. These people all commit suicide with the spell she
Yes.
gave them.
Yeah, that was wild.
Well, I mean, the gold people, regardless, um, if I was kept alive as gold for years and pain, I was being in a bad mood. I weren't like anybody. Um, on Qfrey, is that how you say his name?
Qifrey.
Qfrey. There was a scene where he was injured, and one of the students was trying to look at his face, and he slapped her hand. And again, it
Trying
goes
to move
back
the
to
glasses.
the glass, right? So there's something there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Well, and
wanted
later when he fights one of the Brim Caps by himself, he's asking, "Have you seen a Brim Cap that looks like me?" And I'm
Yes.
mhm.
wondering if Qifrey was a Brim Cap at one point and doesn't remember it, or if his father was, or something. And Hassan, we still don't know at Volume 14.
Yeah, it's another great mystery. I
He,
definitely wanted to touch on that since that
he
was
is every good manga has a dude with white hair with an eye covered and a mysterious past connected to somebody.
you
But he has some good fighting scenes in this book too.
yeah, he goes like full action hero at the beginning of
Yeah.
volume 5. He's kicking ass.
Yeah, with his water
Water spells
spells.
everywhere.
Yep. I do feel bad when Coco hands him that, and because she's just trying to help these people, and she's like, "Oh, we can find some magic to turn you back," and they just plug this thing in and literally melt themselves into piles of
Yeah.
gold.
They
Um,
ended their suffering into oblivion. Uh,
yeah,
Kiefer always cracks me up a little bit because he's so like his philosophy on magic and spell casting is, we're doing this to help others and spread happiness and to improve people's lives. And then like he gets in these situations, he's fully loaded for battle. Every
Yeah.
time he's
Yeah.
got water horses and crazy swords and spells that he's just kicking ass with.
It's
Like you're definitely battle
very
mage, buddy.
Dumbledore and Gandalfy.
Yep. Gentle until they don't need to be, right?
Yeah, until you've got to stop Balrog.
well, I feel like he's got some history with Ilaria too. That's
Well,
probably his old girlfriend, and then now he's with old Rugio.
well, there's a
They
point
were in a
where she was,
thruple.
yeah, because she was asking about him, and then they got interrupted when she was asking about him with the students.
Yeah. Well, the rest of this is Agott and Richeh trying to help Yanui, but Agott sends Richeh on with the three little penguins, and she's like, "Look, I know you want to help, but you don't know basics. Get these creatures out like we're supposed to, and I'm going to go after him. to see what help we can provide him. And Richeh kind of feels bad, but she gets the point, and she's determined to actually learn the fundamentals of magic now and apply it to her own spells. And she's like, this isn't going to change me if I learn this. It's actually going to help me do better. So that's kind of her lesson. But Agott is trying to follow the Brim Cap and follow the little wolf guy now. Um, Richeh does get out with the creatures, and we see more of her history that we've already talked about. But she decides she's got to go get some help. Um, I do love there's a little cut scene where Inui's master is back at the tower that goes down to where all the witches live, and one of the Knights Morales sees him and he's like, What are you doing here? Isn't your kid getting tested today?" He's like, yeah, yeah. Um, so now three witches just know he's a piece of shit, and he's kind of embarrassed because Ilaria and Qifrey also were commenting on his skills as a master. We do get some scenes with the Knights Morales on their own. I think not going to really cover that because it plays out later, like who they are. We get a lot more of them in the next storylines. But this is just all about the rest of this is all about the fight. Um, Qifrey goes full on against the Brim Cap, and we actually find out he is not just a floating cape in a dot.
Yes.
He he's kind of using that. The dude that's controls it is using the cap and the cape as kind of like a puppet.
Yeah, he's like puppeteering the whole thing.
Yeah, he's hidden and has got like a string or two that are almost invisible that he's controlling with spells. And Kiefer figures it out pretty quick. But the dude, when he finds him, kind of looks like a werewolf creature
It's
because
like a
he's been
naked cat.
cursed.
That's what he looks like.
Yeah.
I was thinking Thundercat, but okay.
Yeah, like one of those hairless cats. That's exactly what he looks like.
Or he's been cursed so much that his body is effed up. And I think he's only got one eye as well. Um, but Kiefer pretty well defeats him pretty easily once he gets to it. But the whole rest of this is Coco and Agott trying to figure out how to fix Inui, and just they refuse to do a forbidden spell. And that's the whole point. That's where we find out that the Brim Caps are trying to get her to do forbidden spells, and she won't do it. But they're
Nope.
trying to figure out with what they know, how can they help this little kid? And I'm really like, what's their little spell that's going to crumble dust and make them fly going to change this kid back? But Coco's figured out something. If you like kind of mirror image a spell and place it across another one, it'll negate it. And they try that, and it kind of half works. It gives the kid back his mind and his ability to speak, but it does not turn him back to normal. And the brim cap, the the one that we saw previously with the giant eye, she makes she or he, we still don't know which, makes a return and is telling Coco, "Yeah, you can fix them. Just do some forbidden spells. Here's the spell. I'll even give it to you. You just got to cast it." And she will not do it. But instead, she steals the spell from the witch and places it on him. But it just changes him while he's wearing it. So the kid's kind of trapped because if any other witches see this, they'll probably erase his mind. So the Brimcaps really f this kid's life up just to try to get
Hmm.
Coco to do a spell.
Yeah, he's pretty tragic. It's kind of a sad story for this kid.
Um, but I do like the scene. Um, it's one of the beginning chapters. It's not kind of like a chapter art, but it's got Coco showing her as a brimmed cap and as her
Yes.
apprentice.
I have this page bookmarked because it's so cool.
Yeah,
It's such a cool drawing, period. But where she's it's like her dual self, like her as the pointed hat and the brim cap, and if she went one way or the other, that's a really beautiful page.
But I like how her brim cap doesn't look evil or creepy like the others, though.
Mm-mm.
She just was wearing like a traditional witch's robe with a witch's hat, but she doesn't look creepy. She doesn't it just looks like a nice dress. No different than what she's wearing. And I kind of think that that's kind of where they might be trying to direct her, but it's really unclear at this point. Um,
I'm sure we find out in volume 85.
we might, and you'll be reading it.
Maybe.
Oh, um, eventually, like I said, they save the kid, and his transformation when the brim cap shows her that, oh yeah, we can change it back. They're really torturing this little kid.
Mm-hmm.
But the transformation scene is really cool, where he's getting turned back with the darkness wrapped around him and his
Yeah.
body half in, half out.
Yes.
And then the brim cap turns him right back. It's like, you got to save him. Um, but again, they steal the spell, and then at the same time, Kiefer's boyfriend comes to save the day because Richeh went to get Orgio, and he's fighting off the Orco dude, which is it was kind of funny because he's all action hero at that point after um, Kiefer's getting his ass handed to him. In the end, though, they all do get out. We find out Richey strung her spells together to open a portal, which she shouldn't be able to do at this point, but she is skilled and all that. And she makes a deal with the Yanui guy that, you go with Ilaria and learn magic, and I'm going to continue learning magic. And it kind of seems like they're going to be boyfriend, girlfriend, sort of. Um, but he is not going back to his asshole master, but they're not taking him around other witches until they can figure out how to heal him without breaking forbidden magic.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of the end. Now I'm wondering how they're ever going to do the second test again, because that whole area is now fucked to hell.
Yeah, it's trashed.
Well, now they need a new test.
Yep. Got a whole new test.
Yeah.
So
Now
the
they have to
second
go
one is
back
going to be way
and
harder.
if you can bring back the Romanons from gold, you pass the test. Got to put them back together.
I really
No.
enjoyed this. I, these two volumes were just. I thought it was more engaging and with a lot more conflicts than the previous volumes did. I mean, there were conflicts, but this one was like you didn't know what was going to happen.
This was more action oriented, which I think is
Yes.
probably what got you.
Yes.
Well, Hassan, we have all continued reading. Are you going to keep reading this one?
Well, I have volume 6 anyway, so I'm going to read that. I will, but I'm not sure at the same pace. There's other good things that out to read. Um, you know, a lot of good things to read. So, but I will continue with this.
Just
I
so the
am.
audience knows, he was waving around volume one of Sailor Moon.
No, I was not. It's Billy Bat. But the one thing I I was tempted. I am
Gotcha.
tempted.
That got
Is
Brian.
To read Sailor Moon,
no the they called it
Dick
the
Fight
deluxe.
Island.
All right, just end the show now. We're done.
Dick Fight Island, the Shaft edition.
I was thinking about the deluxe edition of these books because the art is fantastic and so detailed, and it would have been nicer to have it in larger size to appreciate the art even more.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't order the Grimoire edition and get it before like mid-July at this point off Amazon. It is
Wow,
so far
cool.
back ordered.
It's good.
And
Show's
they've
blowing
already
up.
showed the covers for like the first 4 editions
Yep.
because they're coming out pretty quick.
Well, I mean, if you need something to tide you over, you can always get Witch Hat Atelier Kitchen, and you can see just how gay it really is.
I, I, I still have not finished 20th Century Boys, so I got to get back on that too. So
How are you
Yeah,
on
see,
Amazon?
that's much more finite. You can accomplish that.
No, I'm on volume four only, so I gotta get my act together and finish that.
Yeah, you have a lot of Urasawa to catch up on.
I do, I do.
How are you doing on Azadora? Are you caught up on that?
No, I'm on volume three.
There's what,
So you're
nine of
like
those or eight or
you're like
something.
Brian on Avengers West Coast. Okay.
Yeah.
I know, I know. I have them actually next to my nightstand, and I always do not read them.
At some point, we're gonna get you to read Berserk. Brian, I am scared with the first two volumes of Berserk. It's gonna be like, what the fuck are you having me read?
I already read the first volume. Remember?
Yeah, you're gonna be
Okay.
fine.
Did you
Just
read?
keep going.
Yeah, you got to get through the first three, and then you're good.
And
It
those are
is.
great.
It is crazy.
And I got to
I
get back into
read,
it.
I just read so much manga on my flight recently. I read all three volumes of Manhole, which is not what you think,
You're
Brian.
joking with me about Dickfight Island. You're reading
This,
Manhole.
it's the
No,
companion to Dick Fighter.
yeah, that's the sequel. And After God, and Full Full Night. All of these intense. Manhole's not what you think, Brian. It's
Well, I
the
am
opposite of
laughing.
sexy.
I am laughing that Rick. What was it? The tower. That tower one you've been
Yeah,
reading.
Tower
Tower
Dungeon,
Dungeon Tower.
Judging
Yeah,
Tower.
Rick read it without knowing you're all into it. He's
I
like,
know.
I'm
I
not quite
know.
sure what I read,
Yeah,
and
I'm
you're
like,
like, I
bro,
love it.
I've
Every
shown
volume's
every
like
volume.
that.
Yeah. That dude's done a few things. He's not new to this world.
Oh,
Blame
all right.
and Knights of Sidonia is top-notch stuff.
Have you
Since
guys
we're
heard about
on,
Beneath the Trees that no one sees?
I gotta ask, have y'all? It might just be me. Dora Hedoro season two. Did y'all finish it? Or
I
watch
think I
it?
have one episode left.
All right. I'm still loving that show.
Yeah,
Um, and they actually did Greenlight volume or season three. So there's not that much left to go. Um,
that's cool.
although the last part of that series does take a weird turn and it goes on forever. But you never read that one, did you, Brian? I know you did Die Dark,
Mm-mm.
but I don't think you finished Dora Hedora.
No. Yeah, if you want to read crazy weird stuff, read Die Dark.
Yeah, I can't wait to dig into that.
Yeah, that's
Awesome.
got a
What do you?
cool deluxe edition coming out.
Yeah, since I hadn't read that when I've done all of Dora Hedora, I might do that when it comes out. Um, Austin, what do you have in your hand? It seemed like
I
some
also read
manga.
Record Journey. It's a just came out recently. It's a series of small stories dealing with a record shop or albums or music. Um, it was fine. I think because it's a series of short stories, it didn't pull me in as much as Billy Bat, which is incredible. I really love Billy Bat. Issue one, volume one really pulls you into the mystery, um, and some dark shit happens too that I didn't think about. But yeah, I loved it. I love volume one.
Yeah, I
I
read
have
Record
one.
Journey also.
I've got one on my wish list that I haven't pulled the plug on yet. Brian, I think it's up your alley too. It's called Afterglow.
That sounds
It's a
familiar. Yeah.
it's a doctor at rock bottom finds himself entangled with a handsome yakuza who helps ease his sorrows with a night of passion.
Oh yeah, I read that. I Manhole's the
Oh,
sequel to that too.
oh, I don't think I've read any new manga in a little bit. So
There's a lot of cool stuff. Land of the Lustrous. I'm getting back into that too. That's pretty fun. I think you'd love that one, Brian.
Land of the Lustrous.
Yeah. It's about
They
like
have like shiny hair.
they are all like various minerals.
I
And
think I have heard of this one actually.
yeah.
I think I was started trying to find one for a gift for you at one point, and this came up, or I might have sent this to you. I don't know.
You have, and I read volume one forever ago, and I
Okay,
got volume two and three.
it's good.
Yeah, people love that. The other one I think I mentioned to Frank was the Color of the End Mission in the Apocalypse. That manga is super cool. The art in that is killer. It's like there's a girl who is going around post-apocalypse trying to find human survivors, and I won't really tell you much more than that, but it's super good. She meets various companions along the way, and you find out what her deal is pretty quickly, not in volume 36.
Yeah,
Find out in volume one.
I do remember you telling me about that one. And instead of reading it, I went and read. I have a date with a serial killer. Not sure if you've guys seen that one yet. An
I
actual,
think I
actual.
actually have.
It actually wasn't bad. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to continue on with it. It's kind of a reverse Dexter type book where a young lady's sister was murdered by a serial killer, so she's on the hunt for serial killers, and each chapter is like a different serial killer. It's a little supernatural, a little sexy. The writing's not super sophisticated, but it was a fun first issue, so I might keep going.
There is a Nintendo Switch game of that.
No kidding.
I don't know if it's connected, but it's got the same name.
God, I'm gonna go find out.
I don't think it's connected though. It looks not the same, but it has the same name.
If it has boobs, then it's the same.
I was gonna say, I see what's up with this manga.
There's some boobs in there.
Yeah, it looks like more Brian style.
And I feel like that's sarcastic. So,
No, nope.
all
Lots
right.
of lots of manholes.
I'll get the fuck out of this episode.
Got a new title for it.
This has been Manhole 114.
Oh, well, all right, folks. Frank, thanks for joining us yet again. We appreciate it.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much for having me along. Hopefully we do a couple more of these once Awesome gets caught up. But these are fun. It's one of my favorite books, so I appreciate it.
Yeah. I don't think we have yet decided what to do for the next monthly spotlight, but we'll let y'all know when we have. All right, well, guys, we are coming up. I do not know how, but we are coming up on episode 200.
Oh
So,
yes,
No kidding.
So many episodes.
Ooh,
yes,
I
the
gotta
road
get
to
caught up.
200 begins.
that's what I was going to say. Next week, the road to 200, one of Hassan's all-time favorite comic issues, is what we're going to cover. Justice League America 200.
We're gonna cover
And you're thinking
200 different
issues
comics at issue 200.
at episode 200. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, 30 seconds each.
Yeah.
It'll still be a while.
Yeah.
but you could do
All
all of
of that.
Skinbreaker. You could do all of
Uh,
Skinbreaker in 30 seconds. So I'm sure you can make it happen. It can happen.
It was pretty, the end.
Was any skin broken?
That's a good question. Damn good question.
Well,
I-
you're asking yourself, we're just going to cover one issue next week. Hassan, isn't it like quadruple size?
It's 72 pages.
Yeah, so join us for that. In the meantime, where are we at online, Hassan?
You can find us on all social media platforms, Comics Discourse 114, including YouTube and TikTok. If you could also leave us or send us an email at comicsdiscourse114@gmail.com. And please leave a 5-star review wherever you listen to your podcasts.
All right, folks. Well, thanks for listening, and we will catch you next week.
See ya.